In what areas should the government reduce spending?
You know, everything's been cut to the skeleton, so like, is there anything left to cut? You know, so like, I don't think there's anything left to cut. I don't know about you. Certainly isn't on environmental protection. Don't cut that. You know, there's all kinds of things that's been, you know, the patient's basically DOA, so there's nothing left to cut except life support.
I believe, you know, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but once again, like funding foreign conflicts, I think we have a lot of our own affairs to deal with housing, the homeless and opioid crisis around here, that Canada needs a lot more attention. And it's not to say that we don't help our neighbors and internationally, but we need to arguably focus on a lot of our own problems here first.
People talk about government trying to waste money all the time. That's not true. They're using their money as best they can. And I don't think they should cut back in any particular area. They have to use their money to invest in the country and expand the country. Anything that's not growing is dying. So keep the country growing, keep the country moving, and keep doing what they're doing.
Well, they can reduce spending on oil and gas and basically quite a few issues with homelessness. They could be spending more, but they seem to be putting the money out in other areas that just get wasted. It seems that billions are spent, billions.
Government should reduce the taxes, and the money we are paying, it should be invested on us, not outside of the country.
I'm not really sure. You know, that's one I haven't really given much thought, to be honest, in which way they should reduce spending. I think they spend a lot on themselves, too much, to be totally honest with you. But I think in whatever way they could cut taxes for the average Canadian and make life more affordable, especially with inflation and high prices, that would be where they could help every Canadian out.
With the reduction of spending, it's a lot of new infrastructure that I'm finding that they're focusing on, and while that is important for communities and whatnot, it's expenditures that we don't need currently, especially with how much Canadians are struggling. I find that they should be putting their efforts more into helping the community with, you know, rising costs of groceries and rent and all of that fun stuff, rather than infrastructure, because I don't know how many new buildings or new apartments or anything like that we really need.
It's hard to say. I think a lot of money gets wasted on contracts, to be honest. I think, and contractors aren't always held accountable for where that money is being spent. I look at the ArriveCan app that just came out, 59 million was spent on it from the initial 8-point-something million. I just want contractors to be held accountable for where that money is being spent and why there's delays and why millions of extra money gets spent.
Well, right off the top, they can stop doing new programs and focus on the ones they already have. But if you're going to cut back on something, it seems logical to cut back on all the ones that aren't required, the special interest, the activities that cost a lot of money but don't produce as much value as they could. And I'm not saying cut things out, I'm saying cut back.
Well, you probably should spend less on money on politicians for increase of wages and these type of things, and more on the people right now, and programs on helping the people.
I think if you just slow down on the amount of things that you spend frivolously on and actually, you know, put some money into things that are needed, you know, healthcare and so on, it makes a big difference, you know.
I get concerned when we have corporate subsidies or areas that have ties to the government. So that's where I would like to see the spending reduced.
Well, I think you just have to walk around this city and, you know, the government is well overstaffed with a lot of areas, you know. There's probably 5 people that do one person's job in the government. It's not the same as the corporate world.
Within itself, the government needs to cut spending within itself. They need to trim back their wages, their salaries, and get back to the people on the streets.